This is the Westinghouse 6500W dual-fuel home backup portable generator. After spending some time with it, I thought it might be helpful to share what I've noticed so far. I picked this one up because I wanted something that could actually cover the basics during an outage without me playing extension cord roulette all over the house. I've used smaller inverter generators before, mostly for trips and light backup stuff, and they're nice for being quiet and easy to lift. But once you try to run a fridge, a freezer, some lights, your router, and then something like a sump pump or a small window AC kicks on, the smaller units start feeling pretty limited. This one is more in that home backup, but still portable lane. The big thing I've leaned on is the dual fuel setup. I've run it on gasoline and propane, and I like having the option. Gas gives me the most power, and it starts a little easier for me. Propane is what I reach for when I know it might sit for a while, because I've dealt with gummed up carbs before on other generators, and I just don't enjoy that. On propane, I can tell it's a bit less punchy, which matches what you'd expect, but it still ran everything I needed for essentials. In real use, I've had it powering my refrigerator, a chest freezer, a few LED lights, the internet gear, phone chargers, and I tested it with my sump pump cycling on and off. The sump pump is usually what tells you if a generator is going to struggle, because the startup surge is what causes the stumble. This one did that quick, load hit sound when the pump kicked on, but it recovered right away and kept going. I watched the hour meter as I went, mostly because I'm trying to stay on top of oil changes instead of guessing. Setup was pretty normal for a generator this size. There's some assembly, mainly getting the wheels and handle on. The unit is heavy. Not impossible, but it's not something I'd want to lift into a truck bed by myself. Rolling it around the driveway is fine, and the wheels help a lot. But if you've got soft ground or steps, you'll feel the weight. I keep it in the garage and roll it out when I need it, and that's about the limit of what I want to do solo. Starting it has been mostly consistent. On gasoline, it's usually quick. On propane, I've had a couple starts where it took more pulls than I expected, especially if it's been sitting. Nothing crazy, just not as instant as gas. Once it's running, it settles into a steady rhythm. It's not a quiet generator. If you're used to inverter generators that purr, this is a different vibe. It's more of that open frame, steady engine noise. I can still have a conversation near it, but I'm not doing it comfortably, and I'm definitely thinking about neighbors if it's running late. One thing I do like is the outlet setup. I've used the 30 amp RV outlet to test it with a travel trailer plug, and it did what it's supposed to do. The 30 amp transfer switch outlet is the other big reason I chose it, because if you've got a transfer switch or you're planning to add one, it makes the whole backup process cleaner and safer than running cords through windows. I'm not saying it powers an entire house like a standby unit or anything, but it can cover the circuits that actually matter if you plan it out. The CO sensor is something I wasn't sure I'd care about, but I'm glad it's there. I still treat it the same way I treat any generator. Outside, far from doors and windows, and never in the garage. But if the wind shifts or someone does something dumb, I'd rather have a shutdown than take a risk. Along with that, the low oil shutdown has already saved me once for my own laziness when I was in a hurry and hadn't checked the level after the break-in run. Over time, the main annoyance for me has been maintenance access. The oil drain situation is kind of messy. It's doable, but it's not clean. I ended up using a little makeshift channel to keep oil off the frame, which felt silly, but it worked. Also, because it's heavy and a little bulky, you really want to think through where you're going to store it and how you'll move it before you buy it. Compared to other generators I've used, I'd put it like this. If you want something you can carry with one hand and it's super quiet, this isn't that. A smaller inverter generator is way easier to live with day to day, but you give up capacity fast once you try to run more than one or two bigger things. This one feels more like a tool you keep for outages, storms, or job site style power, where you care more about running watts and simple reliability than you do about noise. The concerns I had before buying were pretty basic. I worried it would be a pain to start, especially on propane. I worried it would drink fuel. I worried the controls would feel confusing when you're tired and it's dark and the power's been out for hours. In practice, it's been straightforward. The controls are not complicated. The runtime on the tank has been decent when I'm not pushing it hard. And as long as I stick to a simple routine, check oil, check fuel, start it, let it warm up, then add load. Who is this actually good for? I think it makes sense for someone who wants a practical emergency setup for a house or an RV and doesn't want to spend standby generator money. It also fits if you like propane as an option because you already keep tanks around, where you just don't want gasoline sitting for months. If you're in an apartment or you need something quiet for camping next to other people, I'd look elsewhere. So yeah, I've been comfortable keeping this as my backup plan. It's not perfect, but it's done what I expected it to do, and that's really all I wanted. If you're thinking about it and you've got questions about what it can run or how I've been using it, drop them in the comments and I'll try to help. You can view detailed information about the Westinghouse 6500W dual-fuel home backup portable generator in the comments section.